DC Universe Presents number 19, written by Tony Bedard, art by Javier Pina. So, back in Sword of Sorcery numbers 1 through 4, there was a backup story that focused on Beowulf. This is that story. Beowulf is the main feature here. So we open up on a Professor Gwendolyn Pierce, who is working on some museum stuff, and she's like, all right, I got this magic ball thing here called the Torque that apparently is negative 300 years old according to carbon dating, which that's not how carbon dating works, but regardless, she says, I want to figure out how old it is, so I'm going to use spectrometry. So firing the laser in 3, 2, 1, and then all of a sudden it lights up, and this huge, disgusting, fleshy beast pops out and tackles her to the ground. And as she screams out, "Don't hurt me," it very quickly transforms to look like her. And she's like, okay, that's weird. And then all of a sudden the ball lights up again, and Beowulf pops out, wielding his magic sword. And Gwendolyn's like, oh, stop, that monster just stole my face. And at that point, Beowulf's like, okay, but like, how do I know you're not the monster? And he does some retinal scans or whatever, and then sniffs her, and just like, okay, you don't smell like the puka, which apparently it's an Irish boogeyman or something like that can shapeshift. She's like, all right, but you smell like a human, but you're wearing like sorceress outfits. And she's like, what are you talking to? Who are you? And he's like, oh, I'm Beowulf. And he's like, that's a poem. Why are you named after a poem? And he's like, oh, I know nothing of poetry. Anyway, gotta go take care of that thing. And they walk out into the main room of this museum, and Beowulf is immediately overwhelmed by like the dinosaur skeleton. And apparently there's a thing going on of the Age of Heroes. So there's a bunch of superhero stuff on every panel as well. And so at that point, we see the monster running out into the street and sees more stuff of like the Justice League, and runs over to a policeman and is just like, tell me, Sentry, what year is this? And he's like, just get your hands off me, I don't answer to you. And then it transforms into Superman and be like, now I am your God King, answer my question. So Beowulf then goes out with Gwendolyn and says, yeah, no, this is New York City. Like, this is modern day. I don't know what to tell you. And Beowulf just says, oh, New York City fell in the 21st century. It's been that way for 300 years now. And it's like, oh, well, that's deeply concerning, and I'd like some more information about it. But you said your name was Beowulf, and like, tell me more about you. And he's like, oh, well, I've come from the Danelaw. And he basically gives the entire history of what the backup story was that he originally was introduced. He's like, yes, I came from this place, and I may have been made by this monster or something like that, and I made a friend called Wiglaf, and it's a whole thing. Regardless, though, apparently after that story ended, the sorceress that made the Grendel then escaped and made another monster, and that monster had shape-shifting abilities. It turned into Wiglaf, tried to poison Beowulf. Beowulf caught it, and then chased it away into a trap that the mother set, and that was the orb thing. And the orb thing then sent them back in time. And so Gwendolyn's like, okay, I guess I understand all that. Please don't kill anybody, though. And then we see the Puka? I don't know. I'm going to say Puka. The Puka has made its way to a fountain where it's transformed into Aquaman, being like, I am a king. Why don't you listen to me? Why does nobody listen to me in this era? Do you have no respect for monarchy? And it transforms into Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman's like, oh, you fools, I'm not the danger here. And then Beowulf shows up and is like, nope, I am. So they start to get into a sword fight, and Gwendolyn's like, I probably should leave now, but I am so curious about what's going on here. And we see that the sword, because the sword was made from the shape-shifting ability of Puka, it's still a part of it, so it's able to be cut through. He transforms into Batman and just says, oh, Beowulf, I was also led into this trap. I don't want to be subservient to my monster, or my mother who would trick me. We could rule this era of heroes together. We are so much stronger than them. And Beowulf's like, no. And he just cuts through the Puka, saying, I am no hero and you are dead. So At that point, the cops finally arrive, and Gwendolyn's like, it's okay, officers. He's a hero. Okay, I mean, just roll with it. And also, he killed that monster thing. And a officer comes up on horseback saying, like, oh, what happened here? And Beowulf just looks at his horse, and it's just 3 minutes later. Beowulf and Gwendolyn are riding away on the horse. And Gwendolyn's like, okay, the cops are going to find the horse soon enough. We don't have much time. I got to get him back to his era. And she says, like, oh, I'm just going to reverse the polarity on the spectrometer and blah, blah, blah. And Beowulf doesn't understand it either, but he's like, hey, do whatever you got to do. Just get me home. And she reverses it and sends him back into the Danelands. And as he gets there, she's like, that was the first really exciting thing that's happened to me in such a long time. I know I'm totally crazy, but... And then we see Beowulf looking back at the ball of light as Gwendolyn arrives in the Danelands. And she's like, well, I'm here now. Show me around town. And we see that there's this giant acid-spitting griffin that's attacking the castle nearby. And he's like, well, let me give you the tour. So here's the thing. I really liked the Beowulf story in the backup. I thought it was extremely well done. I think this keeps it up. I'm pretty sure Tony Bedard wrote the original as well, so it makes sense he came back for this. But I really do enjoy this extra little bit on it. It's taking the original story, it's elaborating on it. It's not just overwriting old stuff, and then it leaves off on this cliffhanger that allows you to do a whole new story out of it. Mind you, they don't. I don't think he ever pops up again. But they could have, and I really do appreciate the mythology that they laid down in the original series. So this is only expanding on it, where you're going to have this idea of it's an old-timey-ish world, so Gwendolyn's going to have some like science stuff she can bring to it, but it's still set in the future, so it's not like she's able to just predict events before they happen. I like it. I like the idea of it. I wish they would have moved forward with it more. So overall, I'm going to give this issue, I'm going to give it like an 8. In fact, I'm going to give it an 8.5. I think the art's good. I think it does a solid job of being standalone while also elaborating on this character already. It's a solid issue throughout. So 8.5 for Beowulf and the final issue of DC Universe Presents.